I love publishing works by Puritans that we've never heard of before. Why? Especially because they've been buried and hidden away and no one's talked about them, and they've not seen the light of day for 400 years. And their works are so powerful and so clear, and this one is no exception to that rule. Michael Harrison was a Presbyterian minister. First, he was a minister in the Church of England and went off to set and found his own church, a certain area of England where there were a number of people who had been infected with Anabaptist teachings. And in bringing this new church to the area, he ultimately became a Presbyterian, succeeded from the Church of England, and set himself the government of the Presbyterian Church. His congregation, made up of these kinds of infected people with Anabaptist ideas, he set out to set down a clear and concise preaching series on the sacrament of baptism. And in doing so, he then took all of those sermons and boiled those down and put them in a treatise form. At first, he specifically says in his introduction that the people that were attending the church had all these crazy Anabaptist ideas that baptism for children doesn't count, and you have to be baptized as an adult with a profession of faith. This crazy idea that the Anabaptists came up with. Sorry, Baptist brothers. And so Harrison says, we're going to explain and fix that erroneous idea that sprung up from the Anabaptists. And so by the end of his preaching, he says there wasn't an Anabaptist idea among them. All of them understood clearly what the covenant of grace meant and what infant baptism meant as a result of the teaching on the covenant of grace. And so he put together this work at their request called Infant Baptism, God's Ordinance. And he goes through the covenant of grace explaining very clearly, very precisely, with some of the best arguments I've ever read, and penned in the most clear and precise manner that I've ever read on that issue. It's not a long work. Really doesn't need to be a long work. Really, the foundation needs to be set, understanding what God did in covenanting with men through the Lord Jesus Christ, and then explaining what baptism is all about, and then demonstrating why both believers and their children have a right to the sacrament of the covenant of grace. A very powerful but unknown work, hopefully more known now once you get it and read it. This work is available right now at the Puritan Shop. Go to www.puritanshop.com for more information on this work in both ebook and in print form. And may the Lord bless you abundantly. I know I was blessed. Abundantly be blessed in reading along with Reverend Michael Harrison, the Puritan powerhouse who wrote this work in response, in certain ways, to men like William Russell and John Tones, whom he called Anabaptists. Don't shoot the messenger. Read Harrison, see what he says. Refute what he says, if you so want to try. May the Lord bless you as you read and study his work on this most excellent topic.